Hagia Sophia, Istanbul, Turkey. Hagia Sophia, Blessed Wisdom, Latin, Sancta Sophia or Sancta Sapientia, is the previous Greek Orthodox Christian male-centric house of prayer, later a Grand Ottoman mosque and now an exhibition hall, Hagia Sophia Müzesi, in Istanbul, Turkey. Worked in 537 AD toward the start of the Middle Ages, it was renowned specifically for its large arch. It was the world's biggest building, and a designing wonder of now as the right time. It is viewed as the exemplification of Byzantine design and is said to have changed the historical backdrop of engineering. From the date of its development in 537 until 1453, it filled in as an Eastern Orthodox house of prayer and the seat of the Ecumenical Patriarch of Constantinople, with the exception of somewhere in the range of 1204 and 1261, when it was changed over by the Fourth Crusaders to a Roman Catholic Church under the Latin Empire. The building was later changed over into an Ottoman mosque from the 29th of May 1453 until 1931. It was then secularized and opened as a gallery on the 1st of February 1935. It remained the world's biggest house of God for about 1,000 years, until the point that Seville Cathedral was finished in 1520. Forbidden City, Beijing. The Forbidden City is a royal residence complex in Focal, Beijing, China. The previous Chinese supreme royal residence from the Ming administration to the finish of the Qing line, the years 1420 to 1912, it presently houses the Palace Museum. The Forbidden City filled in as the home of heads and their families and also the stylized and political focal point of the Chinese government for just about 500 years. Built from 1406 to 1420, the mind-boggling comprises 980 structures and covers 72 hectares, more than 180 sections of land. The royal residence embodies traditional Chinese palatial engineering, and has affected social and structural improvements in East Asia and somewhere else. The Forbidden City has pronounced a World Heritage Site in 1987 and is recorded by UNESCO as the biggest gathering of protected old wooden structures on the planet. Taj Mahal, Agra, India. The Taj Mahal, signifying Crown of the Palace, is an ivory-white marble catacomb on the south bank of the Yamuna stream in the Indian city of Agra. It was authorized in 1632 by the Mughal ruler, Shah Jahan, ruled from 1628 to 1658, to house the tomb of his most loved spouse, Mumtaz Mahal. The monument is the highlight of a 17-hectare, 42-section of land complex, which incorporates a mosque and a visitor house, and is set in formal patio nurseries limited on three sides by a crenellated divider. Development of the catacomb was finished in 1643, yet work proceeded on different periods of the venture for an additional 10 years. The Taj Mahal complex is accepted to have been completed in 1653 at an expense assessed at an opportunity to be around 32 million rupees, which in 2015 would be roughly 52.8 billion rupees, the US $827 million. The development venture utilized approximately 20,000 artisans under the direction of a leading group of draftsmen driven by the court planner to the sovereign, Ostad Ahmad Lahouri. The Dancing House, Prague. The Dancing House, Czech, Tanci Dum, or Fred and Ginger, is the epithet given to the Nationale Nederlanden expanding on the Razinovo Nabrezi Raisin embankment in Prague, Czech Republic. It was outlined by the Croatian-Czech engineer Vlado Milunik in collaboration with Canadian-American draftsman Frank Gehry on an empty riverfront plot. The building was planned in 1992 and finished in 1996. The very non-conventional outline was disputable at the time because the house emerges among the Baroque, Gothic and Art Nouveau structures for which Prague is celebrated, and in the feeling of some, it doesn't accord well with these building styles. The then Czech president, Václav Havel, who lived for quite a long time by the site, had energetically upheld this task, trusting that the building would turn into a focal point of the social movement. Gehry initially named the house Fred and Ginger, after the celebrated artists Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. The house takes after a couple of artists, yet this moniker is currently once in a while utilized. Besides, Gehry himself was later reluctant to import American Hollywood kitsch to Prague, and along these lines disposed of his ide. The Guggenheim, New York City, USA. The Solomon R. Guggenheim Museum, frequently alluded to as the Guggenheim, is a historical artistry center situated at 1071 Fifth Avenue at the intersection of East 89th Street in the Upper East Side neighborhood of Manhattan, New York City. It is the changeless home of a consistently extending accumulation of Impressionist, Post-Impressionist, early modern and contemporary craftsmanship and furthermore includes excellent presentations invariably. The exhibition hall was built up by the Solomon R. Guggenheim Foundation in 1939 as the Museum of Non-Objective Painting, under the direction of its first chief, the craftsman Hilla von Riebe. It received its present name after the passing of its originator, Solomon R. Guggenheim, in 1952.